What if everything Claire Fraser believed about her past was a lie? What if the one person she thought she could never be connected to, William, Jamie's son, shared her blood in a way no one could ever imagine? In Outlander Season 8, the truth behind Claire and William's connection changes everything: love, lineage, and time itself. What if fate has been playing both of them since the very beginning? Welcome back to Sugarbee, where we uncover the deepest secrets of the Outlander universe. Today, we're diving into the shocking theory that could rewrite Claire's destiny forever, the one connection that even the stones couldn't hide. It begins in the silence after a storm. The world feels washed clean, every leaf and blade of grass glistening with rain. The air carries that familiar scent of wet earth and mystery. And above all, the faint hum that only one woman in all of Scotland seems to hear. Claire Fraser stands before the ancient stones of Craigh, the wind tugging at her cloak, her heart beating like a drum echoing through time. The stones are alive. She can feel it. The low vibration beneath her palms is stronger than she remembers, pulsing with an energy that seems to recognize her, almost like a heartbeat calling to its other half. For years, she's crossed between centuries, touched by the impossible, shaped by forces she barely understands. But this moment feels different. The air is thicker, almost sacred. The stones aren't just humming, they're speaking. Then, it happens. A flash, sharp, white, searing through her mind like lightning. She staggers, clutching her temples. The world around her fades. For an instant, she's not standing at Craigh anymore. She's somewhere else, somewhere brighter, quieter. A child's laughter echoes in her ears. And then she sees him. A young boy's face. His eyes piercing blue, kind, and achingly familiar. "Claire," he whispers, his voice trembling with recognition. Her breath catches. The name on her lips forms without thought. William, Jamie's son, the boy she's known only from the periphery of her life, the boy who carries Jamie's blood but not her love, whose existence was both a wound and a miracle. Yet the look in his eyes in this vision, it's not that of a stranger. It's connection, memory, a bond that stretches beyond time itself. The world snaps back. The stones are still, the sky gray and heavy, but Claire can't catch her breath. Her pulse pounds as though she's run for miles. The voice, the boy, that strange electric pull, none of it makes sense. But the stones have never lied to her. They don't show her dreams. They show her truths. Back at Fraser's Ridge, the storm's echo follows her home. The walls of the cabin feel smaller tonight, the fire quieter. Jamie watches her with concern. He sees it in her distant eyes, the way her hands tremble slightly as she pours the tea. She doesn't speak of the stones, not yet. She's not ready to make sense of what she saw. Later that night, when the house is still, she opens her old journal. Inside, a faded letter slips free. Frank's handwriting, aged and cracked with time. She reads the words under the flicker of candlelight. "There are things about your past, Claire, that you may not be ready to understand, but they will find you through time." Back then, she thought it was just Frank's cryptic way of explaining his unease about her travels. But tonight, with the Stones' song still ringing in her veins and William's face burned into her mind, it no longer feels like a warning. It feels like prophecy. And the first thread of destiny has begun to unravel once again. Days pass, but sleep never truly comes to Claire Fraser. Every time she closes her eyes, the vision of William, his face half shrouded in mist, his voice whispering her name, floods her mind. The memory feels like a dream stitched from reality, too vivid to ignore, too impossible to accept. Eventually, the unanswered questions become unbearable, so she returns to Craigh, not out of curiosity this time, but desperation. The wind howls through the highland grass as if the stones themselves are calling her back. She approaches cautiously, her heart pounding with the same rhythm she'd felt the last time. The world seems to quiet as she draws near, until there's nothing but the hum, low, ancient, alive. Claire brushes her hand along the surface of the largest stone, its cold surface damp with dew. Her fingers pause when she feels something rough beneath the moss. Slowly, she wipes the green away, and her breath catches. There, faint but unmistakable, are two names carved deep into the weathered rock. Claire, William. Between them, a looping line intertwines the letters, glowing faintly as the afternoon light hits it. The symbol pulses like a heartbeat, the same rhythm she's come to recognize from her journeys through time. For a long moment, she can't move. The sight feels like stepping into a dream that's been waiting for her arrival. Then, a memory surfaces, a dimly lit cottage in 1743. The scent of herbs and smoke, and an old Highland healer showing her a leather-bound journal. Inside were pages of sigils, markings, not of marriage or clan, but of time. The healer had whispered that some families were chosen by fate itself, bound through generations to repair what history had broken. At the time, Claire dismissed it as superstition, but now, that same looping mark stares back at her from the stone. Could she and William be part of that ancient circle? Back at Fraser's Ridge, her mind races faster than her quill can move. She scatters her notes across the table, fragments of Frank's research, sketches of Gillis Duncan's writings, and even her own observations on healing and intuition. One by one, patterns begin to emerge. Every century, she realizes, the same type of person appears gifted, drawn to the stones, possessing an uncanny touch for mending wounds, both physical and spiritual. Always the same bloodline, different names, different times, the same purpose: healers, visionaries, travelers, guardians. She sits back, trembling. Could this explain her own connection to the stones and William's strange pull toward her? Later that night, she stares at her reflection in the small mirror by the hearth. The candlelight flickers, and for an instant, her reflection seems older or younger, she can't tell. A trick of the light, or something else entirely. She reaches out and whispers, "Maybe the stones didn't just take me through time. Maybe they brought me home." The realization chills her. If she and William share this timeless bond, then her life with Jamie was never just chance or romance. It was part of something far greater, a design that stretches beyond lifetimes. And with that truth, another dawns, terrifying and undeniable. The stones don't just carry travelers, they choose them. And Claire Fraser has just learned she was chosen for something far bigger than love. She was chosen to protect the balance between time itself and the bloodline destined to walk within it. The night air at Fraser's Ridge carries the weight of rain and silence, the kind that makes every heartbeat sound louder, every word feel heavier. Claire stands by the hearth, her hands trembling as she stares into the fire. Jamie is there too, motionless at first, watching her with those fierce blue eyes that seem to see everything and yet still ache for answers. When he finally speaks, his voice is quiet, but it cuts through the stillness. "You've been to the stones again, haven't the—" She nods. "There's no use denying it. I had to, Jamie. I saw something. No, someone." He turns fully toward her, his expression a storm barely held at bay. "William," he says flatly. Claire swallows hard. The word itself feels sacred, dangerous. Yes, not as he is, older, stronger. "He called my name." Jamie's jaw tightens. The firelight flickers across his face, throwing shadows that make him look both ageless and haunted. Are the saying the lad speaks to the through time now, that the stones show the him? "I don't understand it either," she whispers, voice breaking. "But it wasn't just a vision. I felt him. The stones knew him. And when I went back, I found something, a carving with our names, mine and his, linked by a mark." Jamie steps closer, every inch of him tense. "Claire, are the saying the stones bind thee and my son?" His tone cracks between disbelief and sorrow. "Beyond blood. Beyond me." Tears spill before she can stop them. "Not like that, Jamie. It isn't love, it's something older. The stones showed me a connection, like fate itself has tied us through time." He looks away, his hands gripping the edge of the table until his knuckles whiten. "Fate," he mutters, as though it's a curse. Then, softer, "Every time I think we've escaped its grasp, it finds us again." Claire approaches him, her voice trembling. "Jamie, I've always believed the stones took from us our time, our peace, our years together, but maybe they also gave us something. Maybe William was never just your son or my stepson. Maybe he's part of this circle." Jamie turns back to her then, and for the first time, she sees not anger, but recognition. His eyes glisten in the glow of the fire. "I've dreamt of him, Claire, since before ye ever told me about him. I saw ye holding a boy with my eyes and your fire. I thought it was only a dream of what couldna be." He takes her hand, rough and warm. "But maybe it was the truth all along. Maybe the stones have been whispering to both of us." The thunder outside cracks like the world itself awakening. Jamie draws her into his arms, their foreheads touching. "If there's a path between our sun and time itself, then I'll walk it. The Sassenach, no matter where it leads." And in that stormlit embrace, destiny hums, ancient, unbreakable, and waiting for the dawn. The morning sky is pale gold when Claire reaches the ridge. The world still caught between night and day. The mist hangs low over the heather, wrapping the earth in ghostly silence. Every step her horse takes feels like trespassing on sacred ground. She dismounts slowly, boots sinking into the dew-soaked grass, her breath visible in the cold air. The place hums faint, rhythmic, familiar, like the heartbeat of time itself. Her fingers tighten around the reins, then release them. The horse snorts softly, sensing her unease. And then, through the silver veil of fog, a shadow moves. A man. William. Older, now marked by battle and burden. His coat torn at the edges, his hair damp from the mist. Yet, when his eyes meet hers, Claire's heart stumbles. They're not Jamie's, they're hers. The same clarity, the same storm of curiosity and compassion. For a long moment, neither speaks. The wind shifts between them, carrying whispers, echoes of all the times they've existed apart, yet felt inexplicably close. It isn't a reunion, it's recognition, deeper than memory, older than blood. The world around them slows. The mist seems to shimmer. Claire feels the pull again, that ancient energy that thrums beneath the stones of Craigh. And somewhere, far off in the distance, she hears it. That voice she's heard only once before, on the day she first crossed through time. The circle is closing. Claire, the truth is near. Her eyes widen. The wind rises, swirling through the grass like a living thing. William steps closer, his face a mixture of fear and reverence. "I've seen you before," he says quietly, as if afraid the air itself might break the spell. "Not in life. In dreams. You were calling to me through light, through wind. I thought I was losing my mind." Claire's voice trembles. "You weren't dreaming, William. You were remembering." He blinks, confusion flickering before dawning understanding. The ground seems to hum beneath them. She can feel the stones responding, even from miles away. It hits her then. Time has never been a line for them. It's a circle, endlessly folding back upon itself. They are not separated by centuries, but connected through them, two souls chosen by the same current. Echoes of one timeless bloodline. Claire takes a step closer. "We are bound, you and I, not by birth, but by purpose. The stones didn't just send us through time, they called us to guard it." Lightning splits the sky, illuminating the ridge in brilliant white. The moment burns into eternity, two figures standing against the storm. Joined by something neither can see yet, both can feel. The thunder rolls, then fades. The wind softens. The air stills. The circle, once fractured, feels whole again. Claire looks up, her eyes shimmering with both sorrow and serenity. "The truth isn't the end, William," she whispers, her voice carrying through the mist. "It's where everything begins again." And as the dawn breaks over Fraser's Ridge, time itself seems to bow, the past, the present, and the future finally breathing as one. Days later, she returns to Craigh, not for answers from the past, but for truth from beyond it. The air is still. Mist curls around the stones like ancient breath as she brushes away the moss on one of the standing stones. Her heart stops. Carved faintly into the surface are two names, Claire and William, connected by a looping line that glows faintly in the sunlight. She's seen this symbol before. In 1743, during her time in the Highlands, a healer named Moira once showed her an old journal filled with sigils, marks said to represent bonds beyond blood or marriage. These were time sigils, markings of souls bound through centuries to repair what history had broken. Could she and William be part of that circle? Back at the ridge, Claire dives into every document she owns. She pores through Frank's research, Gillis Duncan's writings, and old healer journals that reference the traveler's blood. The pieces begin to form a terrifying pattern, one that connects generations across hundreds of years. Every century, a healer is born. Each possesses the same traits: sensitivity to energy, prophetic dreams, and the power to move between worlds. It's a repeating lineage, reincarnated through time, and now, she realizes William fits the pattern. The revelation chills her. If William shares that connection, it means the stones haven't finished their work. They didn't just send Claire through time. They chose her, and now, they're calling her successor. Late that night, Claire stares into her reflection by candlelight and whispers, "Maybe the stones didn't just take me through time. Maybe they brought me home." The truth terrifies her. She and William aren't bound by coincidence. They are two sides of the same lineage, travelers, healers, guardians of time. When Jamie confronts her, it's not out of anger, it's fear. He's seen that faraway look before, the one she gets when destiny comes calling. He demands to know what's troubling her, and she finally confesses. The vision, the carvings, the connection she feels to William. Jamie listens, his jaw tightening. "Are the saying my son and my wife are tied by some force beyond time? That the share something I canna touch or can?" Claire's eyes fill with tears. "I don't know how to explain it, Jamie, but I feel it. It's real. The stones have shown me something I can't deny." Jamie turns away, firelight flickering across his face. "You're speaking of things that shouldna be," he mutters, though his voice trembles. "But the stones, They've never lied to thee, have they? She shakes her head, silence hangs heavy between them. Then Jaime sighs and sits beside her, eyes glistening with the truth of his own. There's something I've never told the Sassenach, he says softly. Since the lad was born, I've dreamt of him, dreamt of the hold in him. Heed your calm, your strength. I thought it was grief, or guilt, but maybe it was a glimpse, oh something greater. Claire feels her heart ache. The threads of their fates, Jaime, her, William, are tangled in ways none of them can fully grasp. Jaime takes her hand and presses it to his chest. If the stones have bound us this way, then it's for a reason. If the must face it, I'll face it. WITHFR. Rumbles outside, shaking the cabin walls. Claire leans into him, and for a brief moment, time itself seems to pause, two souls standing against the turning of centuries, bound by love and destiny alike. At dawn, Claire rides to the ridge where the vision first took shape. The mist clings to the ground, wrapping the hills in ghostly white. She dismounts, her breath trembling, her heart pounding, and then, from within the fog he appears. William, older, now, hardened by war, but his presence carries something familiar, something unspoken. His eyes meet hers, and in that instant, the world falls silent. It isn't recognition through memory. It's something deeper, a resonance. The air hums around them, echoing the pulse of Craigh done itself. Then she hears it again, that whisper she's tried to forget, the same one that once pulled her through the stones. The circle is closing, Claire, the truth is near. William steps forward, eyes glistening with emotion. I've seen you before, he says quietly. In dreams I couldn't explain, you were calling me through the light. Her voice trembles. You weren't dreaming, William, you were remembering. A chill runs through both of them. The realization hits, time hasn't moved linearly for them. It has bent and folded, circling around this one truth. They are both descendants and echoes of the same bloodline, chosen by the stones to carry the knowledge, the healing, the burden of time itself. Lightning splits the horizon, illuminating the mist in blinding white. The energy between them ignites, not as family, but as kindred spirits in destiny. The ground hums beneath their feet, the stones awakening miles away in response. Claire takes a trembling breath. The truth isn't the end, William. It's where everything begins again. He nods slowly, understanding what she means. The stones don't separate, they return what was lost. Every crossing, every lifetime, every echo through history has been leading here to this moment. When past and future finally meet, the storm calms, the mist fades, and as sunlight pierces through the clouds, Claire realizes that the circle, their circle, is finally complete. Weeks later, life at Fraser's Ridge resumes, but Claire is changed. The connection with William has awakened something inside her. A deeper understanding of what she truly is. She begins recording her experiences. Not for science, but for those who might come after her. In her journal, she writes, "Time isn't a line. It's a living, breathing circle, and those who touch it, truly touch it, are forever changed." Jaime reads the words one evening and places a hand on hers. "Thee always said ye were a healer," he murmurs. "Maybe ye were meant to heal more than wounds, Claire. Maybe ye were meant to heal time itself." Tears gather in her eyes. If that's true, then it means our story never really ends, Jaime, it just begins again. He smiles softly, his thumb brushing away a tear. Then let it begin, again and again. Outside, the wind carries a distant hum, faint, ancient, eternal. The stones are still watching, still waiting. Claire closes her eyes, feeling their presence. Somewhere, perhaps in another time. Another version of her might be standing at Craigh feeling the same pull, hearing the same whisper. Because time doesn't end for the chosen, it circles back always, to love, to purpose, to destiny. The screen fades to the image of Craigh at twilight. The stones stand silent, yet alive, vibrating faintly beneath the wind. A whisper echoes faintly. The same voice from the beginning, timeless, haunting, and familiar. The circle is never broken. Claire, the blood remembers. As the camera pans out, two faint figures, a man and a woman, stand among the stones, their forms shimmering between centuries. The story of Jaime and Claire may be reaching its end, but the legacy of their blood, of William, and those who will come after, is only beginning. Because in the world of Outlander, time doesn't just move forward, it listens, it remembers, and it waits for those brave enough to walk through it. And as the final notes of the Skyboat song echo into the mist, one truth remains eternal.